Well, good morning. I'm telling you good morning because it's Monday morning over here in Hong Kong. Take a look at the city behind me. Sunday night back there where you all are, and we're in the land of the rising sun. But I wanted to blog while I was here for Second Mile and just encourage you guys a little bit. I wanted to reiterate some of the information that we've covered over the last few weeks, and I want to use this trip and this backdrop to paint a word picture for you. And it's interesting because we've talked a lot about seed time and harvest, and just that, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease. It's what it says in Genesis 8:28. We know it's a principle from God. We know it's what we operate by. The interesting thing about this city, about this country, even about the United States of America, is that it was planted from seed time and harvest. The British, hundreds of years ago, they sent colonists with their systems, with their structure, and they sent them out across the world. And you know what? They conquered and subdued the earth, but they created countries like the United States of America. They created regions like Hong Kong that are flourishing today, where maybe natives were in the past, but they didn't have the wisdom to produce and turn something into a money-making culture, or a land of wealth, as I'd like to call it. So, as you recount seed time and harvest, understand that even countries are produced like that. And it's so interesting to me as we were down on some of these streets yesterday in an area where it's the highest population density in the world. We have 150,000 people in 1 square mile, and it looks like the United States back in the 1920s and 1930s and 1940s, where guys are getting up early, they're hustling, going out to make a dollar, and so much of profitability for us generating wealth is doing those little things. Getting up early, working hard, gaining wisdom, studying, taking some risk. I know that the guy that I bought a watch from yesterday out on the street, you know what? He took a risk because he had to go and buy some inventory and set up his little vendor booth, down there on the street, his little tent, and hope that people would come by and buy that stuff and be prepared in a sea and a throng of people to be the best guy, the guy that could outsell and outproduce. And so often in life we overlook the simple fact that we have to be disciplined in what it is that we do. The Word talks about that wisdom produces riches, honor, and life. That was one of the scriptures that we used early on in class. And the beginning of wisdom, is the fear of the Lord, to do it God's way, for us to do things the way that He wants them done. And what I want to encourage you to do is I know you've taken a step of faith to get into the second mile, but we have to take that stand now where we're ready to endure day in and day out in the pursuit of generating wealth for God's kingdom and for our families. You have to put yourself in a position to win. You have to look at your finances and create a budget. You have to make sure that you have more money coming in than you have going out. You have to live by the 10-10-80 rule, where we tithe 10%, we save 10%, and we live on the 80%. Buy whatever you want on the 80%, but make sure that you're giving to God what you owe Him, what's due to Him, and you're paying yourself, that you're putting seed in the bag so that you can plant it and you can generate a harvest, that we can get back to savings, investment, and income. And that's how we generate wealth. That money comes in from that investment, we take it like seeds and we plant more. And then we plant again, and we plant again, and we plant again until we have proven the will of God in our lives, which is that we would increase more and more. Jesus said, I came to give you life, and life more abundantly. God has an abundant life designed for you. The question is will you operate in wisdom, faith, and self-control? Those 3 ingredients. Will you choose to garner and gain the wisdom that you need to produce wealth? Will you take a stand of faith where you step out and you trust God and say, God, I'm going to invest my time and my money in pursuit of this thing, knowing that you're going to cause it to increase, because all increase comes from God. And then you are going to end with self-control, that you're going to stay faithful, and that you're going to pursue that until you see the harvest. So, man, I love you guys, appreciate you, and I can't wait to get back and see you. This is on the internet blog that I hope you've enjoyed. I'd ask you to check back later in the week. We might have something else for you. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.